I'd like to call the meeting to order. Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the City Council meeting for the City of Wheat Ridge, Colorado for July 26th, 2021. As you are able, please stand with me and let us pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk please call the roll of the members?
Janice Hoppy.
Present.
Judy Hutchinson.
Present.
Zachary Urban.
Present.
Rachel Holteen.
Present.
Amanda Weaver.
Here.
Corey Stites.
Present.
Leah Dozman.
Here.
Valerie Nosler-Beck.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, all members of the council are present.
Thank you, and thank you, councilors, for being here. You have in your pack for approval of minutes and study session, we have the City Council minutes of July 12, 2021, special study session notes of July 12, 2021, and study session notes of July 19, 2021. And I know our clerk has one correction that he would like to make.
I omitted the comments made in the special study session on the 12th by Mr. DiTullio relating to the tree program. As soon as you saw the draft, you noticed that. I have now corrected that. The copy that will be officially signed has his comments in it, but it's not the one in the packet.
Okay, thank you. Without objection, we will make that entry. Are there any other changes to the minutes? Okay, we'll let those stand as amended. We are at the approval of the agenda, and I will make a special note that we will not have a special study session tonight. That wording occurs on the back of the agenda, but we will not have that tonight. Is there any other change to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll let the agenda stand as is. We have no proclamations tonight. We are now at the public's right to speak. Agenda A on this is the first opportunity for public input on the 2022 budget as Unit A, and so we'll have that opportunity to speak, and I think we have and then we'll have the public's general right to speak on any matter not on the agenda for a maximum of 3 minutes under the public's right to speak. Please, when I call your name, come to the podium. Members of this public who wish to speak on a public hearing item or a decision, resolution, or motion may speak when directed by the mayor at the conclusion of the staff report on that specific item. So this will be a public comment now will be only for items that are not on the agenda. And so I would like to go to the first opportunity for public input and let Mr. Goff introduce that item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Actually, I'm going to turn it over to Allie Sheck. She's our budget manager.
Thank you, Mr. Goff. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Allison Sheck, Administrative Services Director. It's budget time in Wheat Ridge, which really is exciting for us. It's a very exciting year. We're looking ahead. We're already now talking and working in 2022. So tonight, obviously, we invite the public to provide comment throughout the entire budget process, but we do like to highlight special opportunities. That's tonight, again on August 23rd, but I'm very excited to say that we've just launched a project on What's Up Wheat Ridge regarding the budget. So we'd also like to invite our residents and stakeholders to go to whatsupwheatridge.com and look for the city budget. And Mayor and Council, we expect this to be an ongoing project on What's Up Wheat Ridge. It isn't just about the 2022 budget. It's a great place for residents from the convenience of their home at a time convenient for them to provide general input. Right now on What's Up Wheat Ridge, we're asking for some specific feedback and general feedback. So there's a couple of things that are in the resident survey that we'd like just a little bit more information on or ideas about to see if there could be something that might manifest itself into a program in 22 that would require funding. So I'd really love to encourage you and your constituents to go to whatsupwheatridge.com to take a look at that. We intend to present, the city manager will present the 2022 budget to you all on September 20th. here in chambers. And of course, there'll be opportunity for public comment then as well. And then we expect to bring the council before you for hopefully adoption on Monday, October the 11th. So let's consider this the big kickoff through mid-October, when we anticipate having our 2022 budget finalized. So with that, that's our update. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And with that, I have no one signed up to speak on the budget, but I would like to invite anyone who is here who would like to speak on the budget. Agenda item 1A can come to the podium. Okay, I don't see anyone, so we will close our public's right to speak on agenda item 1A and go to regular items to speak, and I have no one signed up for that. So if there's anyone under any other item other than what's on the agenda, okay, we will close our citizens' right to speak, or public's right to speak. We've got a new name for it. And we will go to our consent agenda. Yes.
I think that there was someone signed up on the general sign-up sheet. There's one person?
It looks like they would like to speak on the consent agenda, a consent agenda
Oh,
item.
I see, okay.
So I did see that, and I
Okay.
thought Mr. Mayers, Ms. Mayers will go deal with that at the consent agenda time. So thank you very much. But we're going to consent agenda item number 1. Ms. Hulteen, would you introduce this item?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to introduce the consent agenda, item number 1A, a motion to approve installation of traffic calming devices on Yarrow Street between 44th Avenue and 46th Avenue in accordance with the Neighborhood Traffic Management Program, the NTMP. I'd also like to introduce consent agenda item number 1B, which is a motion to approve installation of a traffic calming device, traffic calming devices on Ammon Street between 41st Avenue and 44th Avenue in accordance with the Neighborhood Traffic Management Program.
Thank you very much. We typically don't take public comment on consent agenda items, but I have someone signed up to speak, and I'd like to, with the consent of the council, invite that person to the podium. That would be Josie Mayers, if you'd like to come and address us on this item. And if you would please give us your first name and your last name, and please spell your last name and your address for the record.
Yes,
Pull that down to where it's comfortable.
my first name is Josie Mares, M-A-R-E-S. I am a resident, a homeowner at 4385 Ammon Street in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Working on speed humps to get on our block. I actually, along with the residents, the homeowners, we have been working on this since July 5th. Oh, I'm sorry, let me go back. Since November 17, 2018. It's been a tough road. Steve that I've been working with has been awesome. He's really good. My concern is I live right off of 44th Avenue, and then you're turning onto Ammon Street, the street I live. My home is like the first house, and I have a big picture window. I'm not a nosy neighbor, but I sit there. I see the traffic coming up, coming down. My concern is we have an elementary school right up the street. As the kids are walking home from school, skateboarding, riding their bikes, once they hit my property, 4385, I have no sidewalk. They have to go into the street. And then across from my residence, I can't think of the address right off the top, it's the same thing. If cars are parked there, once they hit there, the children, people walking their dogs, just out for a stroll, they have to walk into the street. It's very dangerous. I've seen the elementary school end and the kids coming down the street, and kids don't pay attention. It's the adults and people driving that need to pay attention. So that's what my concern is, along with all of us homeowners on that block, is to get a speed hump. We had a meeting prior to this back in 2018 here, not in this room, but in another room, with, I think Zach was there, and the police department, and we discussed this. And what they did is they put up the trailer, the speed, how fast the cars are going, and they put it up several times. It didn't work, okay? Once they turn off of 44th going towards Kipling, turn on Ammon Street, you think that they would go slow, but that's when they speed up. And I have witnessed the fire department, the fire trucks coming up, semis coming up, Shamrock coming up the street, wherever they're delivering. But it seems like our street is kind of like the fastest way. They could get to maybe 38th Avenue instead of going down Wadsworth. So that's my concern, along with the other residents and the homeowners. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Okay. Ms. Hulteen, let's see, a motion will be in order for the consent agenda A and B.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to approve installation of traffic calming devices on Yarrow Street between 44th Avenue and 46th Avenue in accordance with the Neighborhood Traffic Management Program. Do you want me to do them together or
Yes,
separate?
do them together.
And then, sorry, where did it go? Oh, sorry, my apologies. I'm going to have to read it off my computer. Sorry. Okay, thanks. I move to approve installation of traffic calming devices on Yarrow Street between 44th Avenue and 46th Avenue in accordance with the Neighborhood Traffic Management Program.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please poll the council?
Excuse me, I think she read Yarrow Street twice.
Oh.
Oh, okay, well then,
Sorry. All right, let me do that over again. I move to approve installation of traffic calming devices on Ammon Street between 41st Avenue and 44th Avenue in accordance with the Neighborhood Traffic Management Program.
okay, so we have a motion on consent agenda item numbers 1A and 1B, and we have a second by Ms. Hoppy. Will the clerk please poll the council?
Mr. Mayor, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Our next item will be item number 1. Ms. Nosler-Beck, would you please introduce this item?
Thanks, Mayor. Council Bill number 12-2021, an ordinance amending Chapter 7 of the Wheat Ridge Code of Laws concerning elections. At issue, this ordinance will revise the city's election chapter to conform to revisions in state election laws.
Thank you very much. This is an ordinance on second reading. This is a public hearing. It is not quasi-judicial. I'm going to open the public hearing. And Mr. Goff, do we have a staff presentation?
We do. City Attorney Dahl will provide a presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Dahl.
Thank you. This ordinance does a couple of cleanup corrections to our city code. Years ago, the city's code had a very extensive municipal election set of requirements that really duplicated the state statute, and we would have to very regularly change the city code to match up with the state statute. And we finally realized it made a lot more sense to just defer to the state statute rather than continuing to amend. And that's why the city's election chapter 7 is really very short. And it adopts by reference the state statutes. But it had one kind of orphan provision left over, and that was the provision on the time to file a write-in candidate nomination petition, which is at 20 days in the city's code. That's inconsistent, of course, with the Uniform Election Code that now recognizes things that have happened since it was originally enacted. Uniform and overseas ballots, for example, that have to be sent out much earlier. And so if you're going to be a write-in candidate and you want access to that, you need to be able to file earlier. So this ordinance just simply repeals that section of the city's code and therefore will default to the state statute. The other change it makes is to revise the section that references the Uniform Election Code in the state statutes and allows the city clerk to determine which portions are applicable to city elections. It's not as easy to simply list all those because for various reasons, and in consultation with the city's election consultant and Mr. Kirkpatrick, we decided the easiest way to express it is how it's expressed in the ordinance. Mr. Kirkpatrick, did I leave anything out?
Just one brief comment. Several people have asked us, are we suddenly changing the way elections will be conducted this close to an election? No, we are not. These minor changes won't impact anyone's ability to run, or the only change it makes is a slight change in the deadline for filing forms, which will be posted on the city's website. It's already on the county's website. So there's no need for anyone to be concerned that we're redoing the election code. We're just doing what Mr. Dahl said.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dahl. Before we go to questions from council, I will open this up to questions from the public. I don't have anyone signed up to speak on this item, but if you would like to speak on agenda item number 1, you may do so now. Come to the podium. Or Ms. Scheck, if we have anyone online on our Zoom format, we're ready, willing, and able to take public comment in that format. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, we see no one with their hand raised in
Okay.
the Zoom format or
Okay.
on the phone.
Thank you, and I'm sorry, I didn't know whether
quite all right.
who was handling that, but we're.
I'm the
We're in the middle of a
backup mayor.
transition.
Okay, good. We've got a lot of competent layers in that system. So we will close our public comment and it'll open it up to any questions from council. And it looks like we have none, so I'm going to close the public hearing and a motion is in order.
I move to approve Council Bill number 12-2021, an ordinance amending Chapter 7 of the Wheat Ridge Code of Laws concerning elections, and that it take effect immediately upon adoption.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Mr. Stites. Is there discussion on the motion? Seeing none, will the clerk please poll the council?
Mr. Mayor, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We will go to agenda item number 2. Mr. Urban, would you please introduce this item?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council Bill number 13-2021, an ordinance amending Chapter 22 of the Wheat Ridge Code of Laws concerning taxation in connection therewith, approving an agreement with the Colorado Department of Revenue for use of the department's sales and use tax software and systems.
Would you read what is at issue on this?
Certainly. The Colorado Department of Revenue recently developed and launched a software application, sales and use tax software, to facilitate the collections of state and local taxes and to capture previously unreported or underreported state and local taxes in order to join the majority of Colorado home rule municipalities and adopt suits as a platform. Some amendments to Chapter 22 of the city's code are required, along with the approval of a user agreement with the state of Colorado.
Thank you. This is an ordinance on first reading to set the date, time, and location for a public hearing. Mr. Urban, may I have a motion on this item?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to approve Council Bill number 13-2021, an ordinance amending Chapter 22 of the Wheat Ridge Code of Laws concerning taxation in connection therewith, approving an agreement with the Colorado Department of Revenue for use of the department's sales and use tax software system on first reading. Order it published. Public hearing set for Monday, August 9th, 2021 at 7 p.m. as a virtual meeting and in City Council chambers, 7500 West 29th Avenue, if allowed to meet in person on that date per COVID-19 restrictions, and it take effect 15 days after final publication.
Second.
And we have a second by Ms. Hoppy. Will the clerk please poll the council? Thank you. We will go to agenda item number 3. Ms. Hutchinson, would you please introduce this item?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I like this one. Resolution number 36-2021, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2021 general fund budget to reflect the approval of a supplemental budget appropriation in the amount of $13,797 and to approve the acknowledgement of award conditions with History Colorado's State Historical Fund for planning and assessment rehabilitation work at the Richards Hart Estate.
Thank you. And would you read what's at issue in this item?
Sure. The city was awarded funding from History Colorado State Historical Fund Planning Grant Program for planning and assessment rehabilitation work at the Richards Hurt Estate. This resolution will amend the general fund budget to accept the grant in the amount of $13,797 and will approve the acknowledgement of award conditions.
Thank you. This will be a resolution of the council. Mr. Goff, do we have a staff report on this?
We don't, but Brandon Altenberg is here. He's our grant and special project administrator in the Parks and Rec Department, and he's here to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, thank you so much. I will, before we go to questions from council, invite the public to ask questions on this. This is item number 3. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone here in the hall or online with their hands raised that would like to speak? Now is your opportunity. And I don't see anyone, so we will close that portion of our agenda on this item and go to any questions from council. And it doesn't look like we have any, so Ms. Hutchinson, may I have a motion on this item?
Thank you. I move to approve resolution number 36-2021, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2021 general fund budget to reflect the approval of a supplemental budget appropriation in the amount of $13,797 and to approve the acknowledgement of award condition with History Colorado State Historical Fund for planning and assessment work at the Richards Hurt Estate.
Second. We have a second by Ms. Hoppy on this one. So we have a motion by Ms. Hutchinson and a second by Ms. Hoppy, both of District 1. And is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none? Oh, Ms. Fultine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to thank the city for pursuing this grant funding. We have great history in our city, and it's important that we preserve it. And I know it's it's something that we do and we take seriously, but seeing these move forward is a good reminder that we're taking good care of the things that matter in the history of our city. So just want to thank Parks and Rec for doing that.
Agreed, and thank you. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please poll the council? Thank you. Okay, we will go to agenda item number 4. Ms. Dozeman, would you please introduce this item?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 37-2021, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2021 general fund budget to reflect the approval of a supplemental budget appropriation in the amount of $14,940 and to approve the acknowledgement of award conditions with History Colorado State Historical Fund for planning and assessment rehabilitation work at the Pioneer Sod House.
Would you please read what's at issue in this?
The city was awarded funding from History Colorado State Historical Fund Planning Grant Program for planning and assessment rehabilitation work at the Pioneer Sod House. This resolution will amend the general fund budget to accept the grant in the amount of $14,940 and will approve the acknowledgement of award conditions.
Thank you. This is a resolution of the council. Patrick, do we have any more presentation on this item?
Same story, but
Okay.
I would like to embarrass maybe Brandon a little bit while he's here. I don't think you get to see him that often, but you've seen quite a few grants come through this last year that impact the whole city, really, but a lot of them in Parks and Rec, and that's all because of this gentleman here. So I want to thank him for his work on getting that money for the city.
Okay, thank you, and thank you on behalf of the council and the city. It's great to know that we have staff members who are out there finding these opportunities. So before we go into any questions from council, I'll open this up to comments or questions from the public. I don't have anyone signed up, but if there's anyone online or in the City Hall tonight that would like to speak on this, now is your opportunity.
Mr. Mayor, I see no one
Okay.
in any format.
I don't see anyone, but I will then ask for a motion, and we'll go for a second on this. Ms. Dozeman.
I move to approve resolution number 37-2021, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2021 general fund budget to reflect the approval of a supplemental budget appropriation in the amount of $14,940 and to approve the acknowledgement of award conditions with History Colorado's State Historical Fund planning and assessment rehabilitation work at the Pioneer Sod House.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Ms. Nosler-Beck. Our Councilwomen from District 4. And is there any discussion on the motion? Ms. Hoppy?
I just wanted to also just kind of reiterate what Councilwoman Hulteen said about the staff getting these grants for us. I actually took a grant writing workshop for fun, and realized it was a lot of work, a lot of work that I didn't know that it went into it. And so I really appreciate all the work that goes into it, and thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Ms. Dozman?
I just wanted to know if there's any rehabilitation that's going to be done. Will that come before council as well, or like will we get an update of some sort?
Yeah, definitely. So the planning work will happen first in the fall, and then depending on what that shows us, we'll probably apply for more funding through the same fund. They have some rehabilitation work funding options, and then that would also go through council at that point too.
Thank you. Okay, we will go to a vote. Will the clerk please poll the council?
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We will go to agenda item number 5. Ms. Weaver, would you introduce this item?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is, speaking of historic things, we're switching to trees now. This is resolution number 38, 2021, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2021 general fund budget to reflect the approval of a supplemental budget appropriation in the amount of $30,000 for the purposes of funding a hazardous tree removal grant program for private property in Wheat Ridge. At issue, consensus was reached by City Council at the July 12th meeting at 2021 special study session to appropriate $30,000 in funding for a hazardous tree removal grant program for trees on private property. Funding for this program is not included in the 2021 budget, therefore a supplemental budget appropriation is required to appropriate the necessary funding.
Thank you. This will be a resolution of the council. Mr. Goff, is there further staff report on this item?
Just briefly, in addition to what Councilmember Weaver read into the record, as we received direction from City Council at that study session, we will be looking at expanding this program, as was directed again by City Council, to make it even more comprehensive, and that will be part of the 2022 budget process, and we'll bring that forward, as Ms. Scheck mentioned. You'll hear about that soon.
Thank you. Before we go to any questions from council, I'll open this to the public for any questions on this item number 5. I don't have everyone signed up to speak, but if you would like to speak, you may do so now. And I'll ask the clerk, anyone online with their hands raised? Okay, we will close our public right to speak on this and ask if there are any questions from council. Seeing none, Ms. Noslebeck, pardon me.
Thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to ask how, I think we had some comments on Wheat Ridge Speaks today about the program and that we're only taking down trees that are no longer healthy or aren't sustainable. And so I just was wondering if whoever's the expert on this could speak a little bit to, you know, how the analysis of a tree being part of this program will be figured out.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Councilor. And I believe I did see that comment also, and we will be using the city's forester to assess any tree that is requested for removal to determine if it's indeed diseased or dead or needs to be come down for hazard reasons. So it won't just, we'll make sure there's an assessment done by a licensed forester.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Ms. Weaver.
I just also wanted to clarify, based on the comments that were on Wheat Ridge Speaks, that this is for private property and the city is not going and taking down any trees. It will be at the request of the owner of the property, and it is a grant that rebates back after that tree has been identified as dead. So no, the city is not coming onto any private property to remove trees.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay. Ms. Weaver, may I have a motion on this item?
Yes, we will also have a comment after. I make the motion? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I move to approve resolution number 38, 2021, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2021 general fund budget to reflect the approval of a supplemental budget appropriation in the amount of $30,000 for the purpose of funding a hazardous tree removal grant program for private property.
Second. We have a second by Mr. Urban. Do we have discussion on the motion? Ms. Weaver.
I just wanted to thank everyone involved. There were several neighbors around Wheat Ridge that helped craft this, but also our former mayor and current county treasurer, Jerry DiTullio, who was very instrumental in helping this from past years and interest from around Wheat Ridge. So I just want to thank everyone for their effort towards this. It's been a while in getting it to happen, so thanks.
Thank you. Further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, will the clerk please poll the council?
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of our regular agenda items, I believe. Make sure I'm where I am here. And so we are ready for city managers matters. Mr. Goff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want everybody to know that we have our third public meeting on our SCL Lutheran Legacy Master Plan coming up, August 3rd from 5:30 to 7 here at City Hall. And I believe there's also a virtual option, should be for that too. And in the meantime, there's also still opportunities for anybody to go on to What's Up Wheat Ridge and provide comments and feedback anytime they'd like. So we really want to see that and want to hear from as many people as possible on what they would like to see happen with the current Lutheran campus. You've also obviously if you've been watching the news, have been hearing a lot about COVID-19 and the concerns across the country with the rapid spread of the Delta variant. Fortunately, Colorado was the only state in the nation that did not see an increase in cases last week. Jefferson County, as you remember, is still in level clear, and the county's continuing the observation phase of level clear until August 15th. There are some, the 7-day case incident rate is increasing in Jefferson County. We're back up to 368 cases, up from a low of 112 just 2 weeks ago. So there are cases increasing, but the metric that the county health department is really watching closely is the number of hospitalizations, and that is staying pretty low at this point. So that's very good. Well below the threshold of 2 per 100,000 population. We do have, so as of today, in Colorado at least, there are no new restrictions imposed by the county or the state. We do have a meeting on Wednesday morning with the Jeffco Public Health Department, and we'll give you any updates we hear from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. City Attorney's matters. Mr. Dahl.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Thank you very much. We will go to elected officials matters and start with our clerk, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
A reminder for anyone who is interested in pursuing or thinking about running for public office, this Thursday at noon in this room, we will have a candidates orientation session. It is free and open to the public. It will be recorded. You can participate on the Zoom format as well. Information is on the city website about how to do that. We will record it and make it available, just like these council meetings, to anyone who wishes to see it later. So I encourage anyone who's considering a run or has decided to run to please attend one way or the other. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Kirkpatrick. I note our treasurer is here, Mr. Miller. Would you have anything to say tonight? Okay. Carnation Festival, August 13th and 14th is the only comment. Thank you very much. Okay, we will turn to the elected officials on the dais and start with Ms. Nosler-Back.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm just going to add to what Clerk Kirkpatrick said and remind folks that packets are available for pickup August 3rd, and I'm looking right at you, Steve, because I want to make sure to get these dates right.
That is correct.
Those packets are for collecting signatures to get on the ballot, and then those need to be turned in by August 23rd. I had just been looking for those dates today, and they're not yet up on the website, so I want to make sure people know that that's out there. And then also, Treasurer Miller said this, but really looking forward to the Carnation Festival and getting together as a community. Can't wait to see everybody August 13th, 14th, and 15th. Woohoo!
Terrific, thank you. Ms. Hutchinson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This past Wednesday, I was able to attend the Inner City Health Center Open House, which is at 38th and Kendall. And it's really amazing. There was an artist who donated their time to go in and paint some rooms. What they are doing there is they've opened up a pediatric area. And so what they will do is they pretty much take almost anyone. They will take Medicare, Medicaid, no insurance, sliding scale, so it's really a great thing that we have going here. They're nonprofit. And so, if you're very young or old, there's a place to go there. And I think it's great that they almost will take everyone. So, and they were very upbeat, and this was all started by a pediatrician and his wife downtown, so they came here to have a location on the west side, and so it's very positive. I was glad to be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dozman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to thank Guy Namiash. He had art on the farm on one of his properties this last Saturday. They had live art demonstrations, and my kids really enjoyed it, so I wanted to thank him for opening that up to the public. And it's already been mentioned, but the Carnation Festival is coming up. The parade entry closes July 31st, so if you're planning to be in the parade, please get your entry in. The pancake breakfast will be starting at 7 a.m. on that Saturday morning at the Grange. And then we're actually having a Carnation Mile take place before the Carnation Parade kicks off. The Jefferson Center for Mental Health is hosting that this year. And you can, I think, run your fastest mile, and it's actually a certified mile. So if for any runners that are, looking to get certified for a mile, come to Wheat Ridge. Enjoy some pancakes and then stay for the parade.
Thank you. Mr. Urban.
Nothing except for I'm curious as to who the fastest council member is.
Me.
Okay, Ms. Dozman.
I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. I just wanted to thank you guys for moving this on so quickly. My cousin is actually Cody Melfi is on the USA Rugby Olympic team in Tokyo right now, and they're playing at 8:30.
Okay.
And so I get to watch the match. I woke up at 3:30 this morning to watch it. So I just wanted to thank all of you, because now I'm going to go to Clancy's and watch the rugby game.
Okay, we will keep it moving then. Mr. Urban.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. Ms. Holteen.
I think we found out who's the fastest talker. I have a couple of things. First of all, I just wanted to thank the city, and I think this is Parks and Rec. I have really enjoyed walking the completed sidewalk segment on the south side of Happiness Gardens that finally connected all the way along there. My dogs and I walk that pretty much every night, and it's been nice to have a complete connection. So thank you to the city for getting that done, and I'm sure that took some coordination with the school district. So anyway, it's good to see that. And then, we approved the two neighborhood traffic management projects tonight. And I know in District 2, it is, when I walked the district, both times I ran for office, I would say singularly traffic in neighborhoods was the biggest concern. Everyone thinks that their block's the worst block. And I think it's because it's a problem, especially, I will say, I think District 2 has a particularly bad case of traffic issues because we have so many mega blocks that have unique connectors between corridors. And so I would like for us, I'm hoping to get a second to review the neighborhood traffic management program. Right now we have a voluntary and reactive program that I think doesn't look comprehensively at the safety of our neighborhoods. So if someone would be willing.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Stites. I think there's a second, third, fourth, and fifth on that. So I'd like us to take a look at that again and see if there's ways, if nothing else, that we can expedite our way of approaching it, but also consider more proactive options so that we're not relying on neighbors getting organized and using staff time for options that then may not be approved by the neighbors. So thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Weaver?
Nothing tonight, but I am super excited about the Carnation Festival.
It's coming. It's coming. Okay, Mr. Stites.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to echo what City Manager Goff had mentioned about the Lutheran Legacy Campus. August 3rd is the meeting. It's here in Council Chambers, 5:30 to 7. Also excited about the Carnation Festival coming up here pretty quick. And then Councilwoman Weaver and I are narrowing down some dates and some locations for our next District 3 meeting sometime probably late August. So, and as usual, if you can find it and buy it in Wheat Ridge. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hoppy?
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank, we had a memorial tree planting this morning in memory of Meredith Record, longtime city employee, and I want to thank staff and their family, and once again say what a nice function that was. Please slow down and drive carefully through our city. We all appreciate it. And please take care of yourself and one another. If there's no more business to come before council, we will stand adjourned.